Welcome to the Out There channel. Live stream forward 429. Forgot to turn the echo off. It's interrupting me.
I'm finding love.
So, on to another dimension.
I'm loving.
More dimension talk today. And UFO videos. And garbage coming out of all those 4 channels on YouTube that you all seems to love. Why? You can see the suppressor on my channel. They managed to take up another 5 subs.
I'm searching, I'm loving.
Took that on. Hello, good to be back. Good to be back. Okay, back to the desktop. Just say hello. I haven't broadcast this about, just using normal notifications. Stops the trolls. Because they've unsubbed for me, hopefully. Hello, anyone out there? Welcome. Is it really laggy today? Yep, 20 seconds behind still. Welcome to the OT channel. Live stream 429. Dimensions. Claims. And UAP alien craft claims and bases. Okay, that's looking good. Yep, it's taking a while to pop up on the side. And over here, bit of a lag. That's all right. That will do. How's the audio sounding? Am I loud enough? Am I loud enough? Enough. Sometimes the mic's a wee bit low. I think it's okay. It's the maximum I can get on the headset mic. It doesn't have a dB boost on the driver, which is damn stupid. All of them should come with a dB boost, so you can adjust it. That way you can move it away from your mouth and not pick up the breathing so much. Okay, so we better carry on. Looks like no one's joining us. So yeah, some garbage was put out. Man living in 2027. Human race is gone. Video proof. Now, 4 channels out there, namely GUFON, used it as clickbaits. Look, it's still up. Yep. So he's currently live at the moment, so that's good. All the trolls will be with him. Special report. This man is living in the future. I think he's changed the description actually. made it less clickbaity, improves it. Chat room now at 2021. Yeah, so if that's not a clickbait title, then you're living in a different reality. That's how you get people clicking and watching your video. And that's why he's got 2.3k, right, with a heading like that. And of course Google doesn't suppress them, even though he reckons they do. They don't. We know that for a fact. Because he generates so much money for them. But anyway, let's just have a look at these stupid videos. This is the one he played here. I'll just check the volume levels for it. I'll just skim through it.
What if you woke up one day to the terror?
Okay, he's got very loud volume. Let me just turn that down a bit.
Find reality that you were the only one left on Earth.
Scary music, man. Like The Walking Dead. Yeah,
Investigate. There's no cars moving, nobody on the streets, not even a bird flying in the air. Yeah, no animals. Now he's recording all of these videos and people are asking so many questions, including myself. At first glance, when you watch these videos, they're very entertaining. You're like, oh, he must be recording them early in the morning. Maybe he did it during one of the lockdowns. He just filmed a bunch of videos and he's just releasing them now, but that's not so. The more I watched, the more I became scared. If you've ever watched movies like I Am Legend, shows like The Walking Dead, you know that there's a lot of money involved in those production sets. Millions of dollars on CGI to make it look like the world is desolate. Now Javier's only using his phone to film and uploading these videos barely edited onto TikTok. And he lives in a very big city. Now, as he starts getting his memory back, he remembers that he was in 2021. When he looks at computers, looks at his phone, everything is exactly the same as 2021, except all the dates on every election.
Okay, so it's easy to edit that, isn't it? Right, to set it up. Change date on computer, so that's not convincing. And of course, all our streets and shops were empty here with the lockdown, and a lot of other countries also. They had police forces enforcing it, and because most of them have body cam now, you can actually request a body cam and use it in your videos, right? So if they're entering banks and checking out banks and it's all empty, it makes sense. Maybe he got it the videos that way, and edited computer screens like this one and other things to make it to blend all the videos together. So that's my natural thinking here, that either he's a police cop himself or he's a film director and he got to go with the police patrol during lockdown periods. Something really obvious, right? And then he just cropped the body cam footage or made sure there's no other logos and stuff on the video, because they don't watermark it fully, do they? They don't put police department right across the middle, although that can also be removed with some clever editing software. So yeah, so far it's not convincing me. Because we know how these things can work, right? So we'll just go over it, and we actually have debunked this. More information has come out, so we'll just go through it anyway.
Electronic device is saying 2027. He realizes that there's some sort of connection between 2021 and 2027. He still has access to the internet, and he's even shown different locations, exact coordinates to where he's at, and leaving things. This is something like a parallel world, a different dimension, but a connection from 2027 where he's at and 2021. What I find rather fascinating and unique is he's going to these places that are populated, and that's what makes me wonder. Like,
see, the use of dimension there is wrong in my opinion. If he said it in multiverse through portals or overlapping and passing through, you know, like time slips, like I've explained in my theory videos, then that would make more sense. Because a dimension has no space, it has no volume. Well, a multiverse does, and it's connected through some sort of like a membrane, like a stargate that you pass through from one world to the other. And I did do a theory on all this and how it could be other worlds, other multiverses are identical to our own, even have multiple planet Earths, right? But they might be in different ages in the universe development, where they may be further up in development to us, and so they may be alien greys or Bigfoot or whatever, you know. And my theory sort of fits a lot better than a lot of the other theories out there. So this is where this video actually plays into what I've explained here on this one here. I'll post it on the side if you've not seen it. So yeah, we'll just minimize that. Paul's theory on multiverse, as I call it. Multiverse quantum bubble. I think I made up some crazy name because it sounds really cool. You always put the word quantum in front of things, right?
Did he really do this during lockdowns and just leave those things there and then had this master plan of people finding them later on? You're not going to want to miss this because the story gets even crazier. And I know what you're thinking, like, this cannot be real. There is something that he's...
Okay, so if other people found items, then they might be friends of his that he got to set up the whole scenario, right? To try and make it look like they're sort of random people as well. So to me, it's not believable still.
Doing maybe some virtual reality, maybe some tricks with his camera, maybe he's paying people. Valencia, Spain is huge. It's home to about 2.5 million people. When you see some of these videos, even during lockdowns, you can see birds in the air. You can see, I mean, this is, you know, of course, other videos that people are posting of where he's been. There are people there, very crowded areas. I put myself in his shoes.
So I did a search online for lockdown videos, and of course here's one in New Zealand, and again you don't see birds in the sky. I'll just play a clip of it here. Now there's 5 million people in this city, or 4.5 or something like that, and you can see how empty it is, and he does it from drone, car, and you can see there's no other cars on the road. You can't see animals, birds. So I'm not surprised. So where's the birds here? You know, birds will be around shopping malls trying to scrounge bits of pie and crumbs of bread and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so this is in one of the biggest cities in New Zealand during the lockdown. So I could have done a video like this and claimed to be in a dimension or in the future where man suddenly all died of COVID 200,014 variant instead, because that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be variant after variant. I suppose that's a banned word now. I probably lost ads already. So you can see the only places in the big cities were people lining up for food outside malls. Obviously they had a certain time period where they could go and get some food if they didn't hear about the lockdown. But you can see how empty it is. So yeah, this person in another world. But now if he was with the police, right, he could enter banks, he could enter shopping malls, all sorts of secure areas, airports, quite easily, and claim that he could walk in any place, you know, bottle stores and stuff, and pick up a bottle and all that sort of stuff. Alright, so that's just in New Zealand. Probably the easiest place to do it. But largest cities also you can find out there. Oh, let's see. Lockdown videos. Empty city. There's probably a whole heap of them out there. World's empty cities. Global news. Empty cities. Drone video. Europe. What's that one? Under COVID lockdown. Let's have a look at that one. Because I think that's where the guy is, isn't it? Okay, so we can see some birds there, but we can't see it in the New Zealand one. Okay, so that was before, and this is after now, is it? Room, empty, no birds, no birds. Because the birds disappear with the humans, right? They're going to have to go and look elsewhere for food, right? Here's some birds on here. But you could edit those out, right? No birds in that one. I've probably got copyright on that stupid music. I've got to remember about the music. Google tries to get us all the time. I have to keep muting it out just to get rid of copyright. Ooh, yuck. Copyright claims. No birds there, no ducks, no seagulls there, no pigeons. Okay, it's just a matter of finding a spot when there's no one walking around. Obviously there's going to be the occasional person. But yeah, remember that normally has a load of cars going around it. It's like a crazy place. But yeah, that's just one random video there. There's lots of them here where people go down the back streets, New Zealand. So yeah, quite easy to do this crazy video this guy seems to be hooked on.
Shoes, like, he's probably really scared. He's by himself. What would you do? Think about it. I mean, this surpasses every fear. Imagine being...
I don't know if you've ever seen The Last Man on Earth. I think it was a comedy. The first couple of seasons were hilarious, and then it got stupid after that. But yeah, he was, what would you do if you're alone? He was in a bottle store filling up his cart with all sorts of boozes and expensive boozes, and going into the White House and sleeping in the bed. That's what you'd do. You'd do things that you can't normally do, right? So yeah.
All alone. Us human beings, like, we have a connection. We have a connection to other people, to animals. We need that connection. We need those relationships. Nobody around. You're alone. If something happens to you, like, that's it. It's just you. Now, this is where it gets interesting. There's followers of his on his TikTok videos requesting certain locations for him to go and explore and to show that there's no one there. We're not just talking about regular places. These are historic landmarks in Valencia, Spain. Churches, hospitals, even a soccer stadium. Some have...
Again, it doesn't sort of shock me that if he was maybe part of the security guard system where you can go to all these lockdown places and have access to inspect the locations. You know, they have the set of master keys, alarm codes and all that sort of stuff. So he probably just requests to go to a certain location. I know you can do it in New Zealand like that, and when I used to clean the banks, I had keys to the banks and the vaults. And yeah, I was about the only person around. Sometimes I was working to 2 a.m. and there's no one around. Everybody's in bed waiting for the next day. So yeah, still not surprised.
Argued that he's going early in the morning, but he continues to prove people wrong. In this video, Javier shows a comment on the screen, and the comment says this: all your videos are made super early in the morning at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. when there's no one around. He then goes with this comment on the screen to a heavily populated part of the city with a clock, a public clock, and shows that the time is...
but does it have the date on it? No, it doesn't. So that could be from any time. From body cam footage from police cops that he's managed to get.
It's 5:46 p.m. I think that's military time. And I don't know about you, I mean...
So it probably might be not the day after, you know, or maybe the day before.
I mean, here in America at 5 o'clock, it's rather busy. People are just getting out of work. That's considered rush hour. Yeah,
but you saw people driving around in their cars and the streets were empty in Arizona. So, yeah, I'm still not surprised. So I think we've probably seen enough of this already, haven't we?
Completely empty. Somebody here. I mean, I'm looking. I've been looking. You guys might be able to help me on this. I mean, I don't understand. So somebody says to go to a Mercedes dealership and grab a Mercedes. So he finds this key right here, and I guess he's looking around and see.
So you go to a Mercedes dealer, tell them to evacuate the place, and has permission to drive the car. Because they're doing it for a TV show or whatever. I'm pretty sure people would comply to that.
See what car this key belongs to, and he finds it. It's right outside. I mean, how was he able to do this upon request? Somebody requested him to go to a Mercedes dealership. And look,
easy, mate. Easy to do it.
He's driving the car. He's the only one on the street. And this looks like...
Because if you think about it, the place might think, oh, that's a good way to advertise our business, and they might bring more people in, you know, especially during COVID lockdown. So, yeah, I could see them agreeing to doing that and being off camera.
Dusk. There's somebody in the comment of this video saying, I'm starting to believe that what you're going through is real now. And I'm not going to lie, I'm believing it too. This guy is trapped in another dimension, not just in time, but, you know, some sort of connected world, except there's nobody in his world but him. And this one right here, he goes to the
Mandela effect. No, not quite.
Palacio de Marquez, and they said they'll give him $500,000, and he's in there, a place that would be very busy, usually filled with people. Nobody there. Busy city. No.
Anyway, enough of that silly video. I'll just skim some more of it here. This guy's not even trying to debunk it. He's stuck either going along there to make money. How many views has he got? 2 million views. He's making lots of money out of it. Gone. Probably people have solved it in the comments too. How many subs has this guy got? Is he hiding his subs? I know. 4 million subs. Oh my gosh, TV. Well, you need to be able to do some critical thinking, mate. I reckon he's from California, is he? California seem to lack critical thinkers. Okay, let's see what it says here. TikTok. Well, TikTok is very suspect straight away, isn't it? Spain. Whereabouts is this guy located? I reckon he's in California. Anyway, enough of him. Alright, so Even if there were people or birds in a footage, you can erase them with stuff like this here. Project Cloak, Adobe Max 2017 sneak peeks. So I assume we can play a clip of it under fair use. But you've seen this where they can choose, they can make a summer day into winter and all that sort of stuff, and they can erase people and cars in real time. So let's have a look. Oh, over there.
But let's just imagine for a moment that I'm also a talented and oh so handsome video producer. And I went to Russia and took this, beautiful shot of a cathedral. It's great, it's almost good enough to be reasonably priced, easy to download stock footage, which it may in fact be. But it's got this horrible spotlight blocking the cathedral the whole time, right? So I'd love to get rid of it. How can we do that? Should we even try? Should we?
Yes.
So to give some context, I'm going to go ahead and just open up one frame in Photoshop. There, if I can get it. Photoshop. And I'll select the spotlight here and the top here and use the incredible content-aware fill. And we'll see this result is pretty good. I'd want to touch it up. I could use the stamp tool here because there's a lot of repeated visual elements to help me fix some of the things I don't like. That'll take me a minute. Do you guys want to hang out with me while I stumble through that on stage?
No.
And how about for the 99 other frames in this video? I would guess not. Okay, well, I went ahead and did that backstage just now, and this is what that result looks like if you put all those frames back to back. And this is obviously not going to work, right? It's too obvious. There's like some sort of force field effect. It looks like the shape of the spotlight.
Predator.
But it's not, the individual frames aren't so bad, right?
So you could
each of them
fake
looks
your
pretty
favour
good, but
videos
because
with
they're
Cloak.
done independently, we end up with this really
Using
weird
that.
effect. And that's what makes this so hard. You not only have to nail each frame, but you have to be precisely consistent over time, from frame to frame. What else could I do? I guess I could also use one of the plane tracking features. And in this case, there's a lot of depth, so I might have to track multiple different planes and then be really careful about the seams between them to paste.
So that's talking about the older ways of doing it. Now they've got newer ways where it takes all that hard work away from tracking and all that.
And you could use rotobrush. I am not very good at that, so I went ahead and I want to output it.
So he's using
and while
different
that's
methods.
running, I'll show you what that mask looks like.
Yeah.
And so you'll see it's just saying these are the pixels that I want Cloak to remove to do something with. And I think that's been enough time, so we'll go back over here and look at the result. And you'll see I've removed this spotlight.
Perfectly.
Thank you. So in this case, we're removing something that's sort of freestanding in front of a background, but this will also work in cases where something's attached. So if you have a stain on your shirt, or you've got graffiti on the wall you want to remove, or maybe your drone has a shadow you want to remove. In this example, I'm removing the strap from the guy's backpack. And this is kind of a subtle result, but I hope you're impressed because it's really hard. We never see behind the strap. So we have to imagine what it looks like behind the strap and then convincingly propagate that through time even as the guy moves and the lighting changes. So this is a hard one to do.
Wow. And could you still use that on the people? Could you?
Yeah, we can remove the people. Yep.
See,
Where did they go?
being tracked and then they disappear.
They got taken by aliens.
So just gives you some idea. And that's 2017, I guess. Now we're talking about further on in years. And we know about deepfake software now. Could do it real time without too much editing, but obviously you can see how easy he was doing it there. with roto tracking, whatever he called it. So yes, 3D CAD cam stuff is advancing. I think if you can search also moving people real time graphics. Let's see what comes up. AI. Users boost real-time video using AI. Temporal resampling for real-time occlusion removal. It's amazing what they can do nowadays. So seeing is not what believing. So even if you watch lots of UFO videos, doesn't mean a thing, right? In fact, I'm surprised people are not creating really realistic CGIs like that guy was doing there. To a home, to a home. Google headset removal. Let's have a look at that one. Enables remarkably immersive experiences. And that's 2017 as well. Mixed reality. So that means you're adding in fakes in front of real objects, I guess. Oh, here we go. So what's it doing? Green screen. And it adds it to the scene. User's face is captured and she's tracked onto her eyes. Nature of reconstruction the 3D face model. Okay, so she's just watching the little thing go around. And they're recreating her three-dimensionally. It's not actually her face. What's that? Drum kit. What's that in front of her? Some kind of weird plants, is it? I don't know. So she'll be seeing it three-dimensionally though. Just makes you wonder how the future of games is going to be. If you think about it, if you had a big room with a small curvature sphere, that means you could walk any direction and not go anywhere. It'd be like a mouse on a treadmill. So if you made the building big enough and the ball, as you step forward, rotates back where the step was, you never actually move anywhere, but you could do like a hologram deck, right? You could have it have like photo cells on the floors and walls and actually paint a real scene around you without using goggles. This is how I envisioned how the next things would develop, and then they'll have these places that they can rent out where you go into virtual reality rooms. Then eventually they'll have make your own 3D printed version for your own home theatre room. So yeah, I think the future is going to be getting closer and closer to what Star Trek was doing. Fascinating stuff. But yeah, I was trying to find that video where the changing summer day to winter footage. It was out last year or the year before. Could be this one here. But you got to be careful of copyright. Okay. Yeah, it probably was that one there on PBS or whatever it was. Let's pause it. No, it's not that one. Video editing. I don't know if you've seen it, but I remember seeing it. How to change season and time lapse. LR time lapse. Could that be the one? No, some guy's probably done it over the year. It's not that one. Photoshop summer to winter. Here we go. This might be it. There. Same picture. But it looks like using standard Photoshop, not the latest technology. So yeah, anything's possible nowadays for a video. And it's just getting better and better and easier to do. So anyone can do it on their home computers, right? Just download the template. Yeah, it's out there somewhere anyway. If someone manages to find it, let us know. Let us know if you've got the link to it, and we'll post it up. But it looks like we're not going to be able to find it. I'm not even sure if it was Adobe doing it. There's a lot of other competition out there. Adobe, altering video real time. Removal. Let's see. It's more about tutorials. But anyway, we just saw it in the last clip. I think it's just a lot easier now and a lot faster. But here comes the update. 2027. Truth revealed. I'll just do some checks here in a minute, so I'll just get back to it. Here we go. Joe Javier in 2027, Spain. How did he remove all the people? And this is part 2, so now it's been exposed. So it's a viral TV ad. I heard he is really stuck in the future, but the government's covering this up by making a TV show. So you can't win. It's always going to be these conspiracy guys that think everything's a cover-up. And that's a good money maker for all these people on YouTube, because they just know you're not going to convince everybody. Everybody has these little mental problems or stuck in rabbit holes. I mean, they're well down deep into the rabbit holes, so they don't know reality from fiction or fantasy. But anyway, let's just play it and see what this
So
guy's got to
guys,
say.
we had a lot of speculation what this time traveler from TikTok was, Javier. We all had a lot of speculation on what it is, but it was finally revealed that this was all planned out by a TV station, and it's actually gonna be a TV series in Spanish that is coming soon. That explains why he had the keys to go to all those places. It was all orchestrated with a bunch of people. You can see in some of his videos that the hands are different sometimes, so it's not always the same person that is going into these buildings. And a few people had noticed that and pointed it out to me, and it was in fact true. Now, there's a lot of people on my videos on YouTube saying that it's real and all that. Well, no, it's not real. Unfortunately, the story didn't always add up to what he was saying in the beginning. But anyways, let's take a look at what they say on this article on this website right here. They say, after days of fun and adventure with the lone survivor, as he was known on social media in the last hours, a Spanish production company decided to reveal the truth of this mysterious young man who sparked controversy around the world. The Spanish company revealed that The Lone Survivor is a new series, which will soon be presented on Spanish network, and the campaign carried out by this company is unique in that it was able to provoke...
So there you go. Debunked. Fake viral videos about man from 2027. If you go that far in the future, though, you should be able to prove that the technology has changed quite drastically, wouldn't you? What would the future technology look like? Would we still be using LCD screens in another 6 years? Because he showed a computer screen, right? Or will it be more like virtual goggles, where you actually got head-up display of virtual screens in front of you? Because when you think about it, most people hang up three big TVs on the wall, so they've got a big wide screen for their computers, right? That's currently what you do. Or they bend it on like swing arms, so they can swing it out too, so it's like a capsule in their room over their desks and stuff. And this use a box near the wall and wireless keyboard and mouse towards it. That would be the best way to do it, and that way you can get keep the noise away from your headset microphone, I guess, when you're doing live streaming. And also have powerful core desktop computers. In fact, you could do multiple desktop computers, one for streaming box and the other one doing the presentation, and that could be sending the stream over the LAN to the next box, which then streams it off to the various platforms. So in the future, I think more likely less to have big screens on the wall, and more go to contact lenses type thing. Wireless is getting faster, especially with Bluetooth, so you could probably beam a lot of the TV information straight to contact lenses or glasses or whatever. Even that may not even be needed. They're looking at holographic predictions, where they can shine like a LED lasers into a membrane and actually create a virtual screen. Hovering holographic screens. I don't know if anything will come up, but I know I've seen people experimenting with ideas. Better than holographic. A new 3D projection into thin air. 2018. So we've looked at these things before, right? So they're doing that 2018, so another 10 years on. How far will that technology go? So what they can do is they can put little fine particles in the air and also fire an individual laser beam at each particle and light it up, and the pressure of the photons hitting it, they can keep it stationary in the air. But you can see this is very small scale. It has a lot of equipment around the outside of it. So they've got a miniature globe, is it? Planet Earth on their finger. You can see how small it is. Lasers trace a new way to create moving, hovering hologram. Yeah, it's the same article. So we've covered that before. It's quite clever. Free floating images. So this will be on the first few pages, I suppose. Makes images hover. Future. Let's see what we got with that one. Future LCD screens for computers. See what comes up for that one. Future advancements in display technology. Organic lighting. Mini LED is the future of big displays. So let's have a look at that one. So this again sounds like contact lenses, right? So what are they trying to say here? This beefy 22-inch monitor, clad in gaudy plastic. A mini LED. What are we talking about here? Available for computers. Mini LED, virtual unknown a few years ago, is the set to become the new default for high-end televisions. Delivering contrast on par with quality HD TV, high dynamic range. Asus isn't alone. Apple turned into mini LED for its Pro Display XDR iPad Pro. The rise of mini LEDs may surprise you if you own a LG CX television, a new iPhone, or any mobile device from Samsung. These have OLED displays with nearly infinite contrast and billions of vivid, accurate colors. They are the benchmark by which other displays have been judged, according to tech viewers found wanton. Yet OLED's prospects look dim. In the full sense of the word, Asus has a peak brightness of 1400 nits, candles per square meter. So that means you can make really big screens then, does it? That means more than 3 times what a normal monitor gives. Apple Pro So technically you could make the whole wall of the house a TV screen. So if he did something like that, where he walked into a building and the whole wall was actually the TV screen with the computer date on it in that video, that would be more realistic for 2027, I think. So have we got any pictures of what they're saying here? Thickness hardly matters. You'd have must place LEDs directly behind the LCD panel, increasing its profile. See, there's no pictures of it. So I'm a wee bit confused. Let's see what else we got. Displays on display. Let's have a look at that one. So you go to all these little conventions, right, where they got cutting edge technology and they're trying to sell them the latest. 4K is the future. In fact, we've surpassed that now, haven't we? We're up to like 16K TVs now. And phones, touchscreens, transparency. And when you got that many dots, you can put it on a big wall quite easily and have realistic surrounding effects, right? What will they look like in the future? That's what we're trying to find out. I think they're going to be vastly different. I think he's showing there it can be flexible now. Look, you could wrap it around you. I think this is where the cloaking technology comes in for black ops and all that. So they can do visual spectrum as well as cloak infrared and night vision and all that sort of stuff now. Future of work 2020, accelerating and innovative innovation, with monitors to drive. Let's have a look at that one. To drive business outcomes. It's just advertising itself. Delcom technology. Next generation display technology. There's a Wikipedia on it. So what they saying? E-LOD. Many expect the quantum dot display technology can compete or even replace liquid crystal. So here we go. So this is I reckon it's going to be in the marketplace in 2023. So this is something else that's new. I remember talking about the quantum dot displays probably like 100 live shows back, including the desktop, notebook computers and televisions. These initially applications alone represent more than 8 billion addressable marketed by 2023 for quantum dot based components. These promise greater efficiency and longer lifetime than QD LED light bulbs. So quantum dot, we did actually talk about quantum dot before though. And I think you can put it on flexible surfaces as well. dot. And there's all the technical stuff on it here. So we're talking about down to nano crystal sizes. So it means technically you could make little tiny displays and have really crystal clear images on it. How about displays versus virtual contact displays? In fact, I can see them implanted into your eye virtually, and also into your ear. So basically you become one with the machine. So that could even happen by 2027. Immersive display creates panorama virtual screens, augmented reality and virtual reality. And virtual herons 5 days ago reached your setup date and time for a test call. Seeing virtual while acting real. Different effects of different virtual displays on the time and position of bare-handed or tool mediated eye-hand coordination. (2021) ViewSonic needs the contact information. Haptics for virtual reality and teleoperation. 2-point contacts. Virtual meetings. Okay, let's have a look at that one. Display the size of a 32-inch screen generates an illusion of a 120-inch screen. So what they're talking about here. So that looks kind of ugly. That looks like something from a 1950s sci-fi there, doesn't it? Imagine the big game is on and you're watching your future favorite team trounce its while on a 120-inch screen that displays every detail, but the curved display is actively only showing 32-inch model when you place your face near it. Generates the illusion of a much more massive display. A new light-filled display now seeks to create such immersive panoramic. So I would have thought they would have done it with glasses, you know, or some sort of thing that goes on your face but you don't notice it's glasses, you know. With all the COVID things, you could turn it into one of those shield masks, right? So you'd be protected from the virus, and you could see, you could bring up all your TV shows and stuff inside this slide-on helmet, and have filtered air and oxygen, be a all-one face mask. Now what they're saying here. So that's another line. And that's 2020. So imagine if he had that on that viral video that he's in another dimensional place and it's a crazy looking TV and it's showing the date and time on it. That'd make it more believable, wouldn't it? Phone up, who's the one that's doing that? What company did it say? I can't remember. The company say you want a demonstration, go and film it. Can you put 2027 up there as a date for us? Okay. Here we go. Virtual retinal display. That sounds like it's inside the eye, does it? I think that's probably where we're going to be going. Also known as retinal scan display. Projector is a display technology that draws a raster display like a television directly onto the retina of the eye. Okay, this is where I thought would be. This is what I'm trying to talk about here. So a contact lens could do that, right? Instead of projecting on the lens, it's actually shooting the image into your eye. I know they have been working on EMF and actually transferring the actual visual information straight into the brain cells as well. This is something else they're working on. But yeah, that's quite an interesting one. That's the one we probably need to look up on. I'll post a link to that one, yeah. Displays of the future. And we've seen already four different suggestions. One was the holograms with lasers. One was the big curvature TV monitors. What was the other one? Quantum dot displays. And then we've got this one here. Transmitting images straight to brain. Now this is the one which ties in with UFOs pretty much. Now I think the aliens are able to do this, and they're able to also transmit audio, but so they don't actually have to talk, but they can talk in their own language, and the AI computer has translated it into English and stimulates the part of the brain that interprets the audio. Images for transmitting high risk straight to the brain. So you can see they've been researching it, and they've had some success with it, and it's getting better all the time. Technology developed by Monash University in Clayton, Victoria, sends images directly to the brain and could benefit those that still have a fully functional optic nerve, but they may be physically blind, right? As well as some function in nerve cells called ganglion. Reasonable for transmitting visual information from the retina to the optic nerve. So if Mother Nature can do it, maybe the nanoscale microchips that we're developing now is going to simulate and replace a lot of that. So bionic eye is not too far-fetched in the future. And that's now, so another 7 years from now. What percentage of the brain is dedicated to decoding images? More than 50% of the cortex. So yeah, let's have a look at those images. Now you've heard of people talking about automatic software download. Linda Moulton Howe has sort of covered this. So if humans are able to do this, I'm pretty sure advanced alien species out there would already know how to do it. And maybe life in the universe develops the same sort of brain structure to us. But they've had plenty of time now to abduct people and scan them and work out how their brains work, and then incorporate it. So that then makes people paranoid that the government could actually beam anything they wanted to into your head. So technically they could drive you crazy. But I don't think they'd do it with towers. I think they'll do it by a van outside your house or a house next door. Then you could easily put where your bedroom is. They could line up like a cone transmitter on the other side of the wall inside the other house. They could easily penetrate into your house, which would affect your brain function over time and make you go paranoid or crazy. Now, some people have claimed that's the case, and they put up Faraday cages around their beds, which is probably not such a bad idea if you're really worried about it. So when people said that the people were getting headaches in that particular building, I think it's really feasible, because this technology has been around since the 2000s, right? It's been developed more and more. Here's one here of the bionic eye sends images directly to the brain. That's 2015. Signals on the scales, how the brain processes images. So they're learning more and more as time goes on how the brain works to convert from the eyes to visual images, right? 2015 again. It's new scientist. Fascinating stuff, I think. And of course, a lot of blind people opt in for this kind of research, you know. They're quite happy to have holes drilled into their head and wires implanted into the brain, or on the surface of the brain normally, where they put it, to then stimulate neurons, which then gives them flashes of colour and that sort of stuff. So yeah, those brave people that are guinea pigs are the ones that are going to allow this sort of stuff to be working. The theory images transmitted to the brain. So you can transmit images to the brain, then you should be able to also do the reverse. You should be able to study the electrical activations in neurons when they're thinking of an image, and then translate it back into a computer image. So it sounds a bit like those sci-fi movies, right? Here you go. 2018, Japanese AI recreates images you're thinking about. This is how I was talking about it. Here's a link in the search. Chillin' Black Mirror style machine recreates the image you're thinking about by decoding your brain signals. So, what are we looking at here? I'm not sure what. So that's what they're looking at, and that's what it's recreating. Kind of looks like a hippo on that side rather than ducks, but you can see there are some similarities there. So if they're doing that much already, do they have to open up the brain to put implants in, or are they doing it on the surface? Builds up the picture of everything from simple shapes and letters. Have we got any other pictures? Nope. I'd like to see more of that one. I'll put a link down to that one. Brain images. I suppose that'll do. Not many people around today, yeah? Not big chatters. So does it give us a link to their website? Facial recognition. Alright, so this is some of the images. Here we go. So lizard, that one's pretty good. You can see it could be some sort of alien entity with a weird eye. Official trailer. Next fix. Oh, look at that one. That owl looks like some sort of buffalo creature. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. Oh, that one's not too bad. Look, they've got the body. Just makes you wonder what they're going to come up with eventually. What's going on there? So they're watching a static image or they're watching a video. And that could be a video they're watching. Arnie movie coming up. And they explain how it's done here. Okay. fMRI activity. So how are they doing that? Be interesting to see letters. They said letters. So here we go. Square. Square with a hole. Cross. X. Different colours. So you can definitely see it's red. That one looks more black, green, blue. Oh, here we go. A, T, R. You can actually see that. You can see that. Is it R, B? So yeah, the government might be able to read your mind soon, hey? Amazing stuff. So we come across that one recently by pure chance. And that's 2018. So what they got going by now? It's just a matter of training the AI to interpret your electrons in the brain that they're mapping in real time. I wonder if you could then, you know, they talked about seeing the last image in a person that's been murdered eye. Would you be able to recover the image of that person that was staring at, that was killing them? Just imagine the future technology there. I spent a fair bit of time on this video. See, I never plan anything. I just go with the flow, right? You never know where the topic's going to lead. So how many minutes have we been into this? Why is it not scrolling? I don't know, for some reason they made the scroll bar really small on this. Let's scroll the time across. Oh, here we go. 1 hour and 14 minutes. Amazing stuff. So yeah, so we should do more research in that again in the future. See where it progresses, but that having contacts at being the screen inside your eye, I think that would be what will be happening in the next 10 years. myself. But could you live with a contact lens in your eye though? And maybe they could do it with glasses, right? Because everybody's used to glasses, but they tend to slide off your face. They'll find some way in doing it. Maybe suction, like water goggles, maybe. If people don't like contact lenses, seeing with your tongue. Possible existence of optical communication channels. So this is the thing with SETI, right? I don't think they would be communicating with electromagnetic waves of, microwave band. I reckon they'd be doing it with other light spectrums, right? So if you could just encode, like Morse code, into a blinking light that you can see from millions of miles away, you can transmit information back from space probes back to home base. If you could make it bright enough, maybe they could somehow use a sun, which is what we saw with the with the dimming that happened. So there might actually be a way of communicating long distances using the sun by blocking out some of the light. That would make more sense to transmit large distances, because it's traveling at the speed of light, right? So you're not going to get it much faster than that unless the speed of light is wrong, which some experiments have suggested that it is, that light can actually speed up and can also be slowed down. It's not a constant. So yeah, our science is going to be turned upside down if that's the case, right? EMC squared and all that sort of stuff in space-time. Anyway, we probably should leave that topic alone for a bit now. But yeah, that's debunked, that first one. And it led off to all those different other things. Whoops. I need to get a drink. What was next on my list? Who's next to look at Nocturnal news? I don't think I've got him on here. I think he was next. You remember that he put out that video slanging off his cousin, third generation cousin, which is Tyler Glockner of security, saying that he's a liar and all sorts of things. And he said he promised to promote him and all that. So that video stayed up pretty much a day before it got removed. And suddenly Tyler's promoting him. Nocturnal news. So it just proves these guys are all about views, subs, and eventually making lots of money out of it. Nocturnal news. Probably won't get his video up. YouTube. I just want to get the video in question up. And I'll talk about it. As you know, I was talking about his cousin, Tyler Glockner from Secure Team, putting up those creative videos and claiming all sorts of monoliths and cover-ups and stuff on moon basis, images and Mars and all that sort of stuff. He's put out something similar, so he's just put out another garbage video too. He's doing a tour of NASA. This one here. I just want to go over this one.
Lunar Orbiter 3. Now, we have to go back about 50 years to kind of...
Yeah, so what kind of camera technology they had back in 1966? Come on. We've still got slides, and you have to use a projector to actually see them. You don't. They were never printed out on paper, and they're all sort of washed out colours and scratches on them and all sorts of things. Little slides, but still, NASA used big slides, which are equivalent to 4K if they're scanned in. But back then, their photo cell technology wasn't as good. So that's why they used slides, and then they'd bring it back and scan it. But then you're talking about being miles above the surface, right? So you're not going to see too much detail in low light, which is another problem of a moon surface. So let's just go through it here.
Puzzle together today. It's going to be kind of a complicated video. I'll do the best I can. Okay, what are we looking at here? We are looking at a NASA image from the Lunar Orbiter 3. It was basically a mission to map the moon for the Apollo missions. They have a gallery.
Yeah, straight away we can see this has got little dots on it, which for calibration.
I went to the online gallery, and I found this amazing anomaly. I believe it is an underground base on the...
You can see the little crosses. Remember we talked about that yesterday at the end of the last live show?
Moon, some kind of opening, and it reminded me...
Okay, so this one here on planet Earth, talking about the entrance. Now, we've been over this many times. And if you go down and rotate around, you'll see that this is just a valley next to a rim of a mountain edge, and this here is actually like a lake, a frozen lake, and because of the optical illusion it looks like a lid, but if you go around the other way and look at it from the other perspective, it actually looks like a sunken shiny piece of ice. Now he's trying to compare it to this L03, whatever it is, orbiter. This image here, you can see how low res it is even compared to in the modern day weather, not weather satellite, but space satellite that took the images here. So he's saying this thing here, the helmet, as he's calling it, is the same as this entrance here. But that's just shadow play, right? And that's just shadow play too. Now look how grainy and horrible that photo was to try and interpret it, anything like that. But you can see here, that's a crater, and you got a mound of dirt here that's shining into the half side of the crater here and making it dark. It's just a crater. And we're just seeing it sort of 3D in a 2D world, right? 2D image. Which is totally different to this one here. I know you do have lava tubes as well. You could say that was a lava tube hole going underground, but I think you'll find it's optical illusion, this one. So you do get lava tubes. I'm not sure. Lava tube entrances on planet Earth. Let's see, we've got some images. Okay, so these are some lava tubes, and they can get quite big. And I think they got some up in the ice of Antarctica. Arctic, I mean, not Antarctica. And Antarctica, there will be some as well, because we know there's a lot of volcanic activity down here. So there's some here. Where's that one? Could aid lunar colonization. So they're not ruling it out on moons and planets, lava tubes, Mars. makes perfect sense. If you got a extinct volcanic activity and you got all these tubes left behind, it just makes perfect for bracing it and turn it into little underground bases. And someone's put some ladder down into this one. Also, we found that what you can do is you can actually get material which will not melt, which can withstand the temperatures of lava, especially if you cool it. Like if you had like a water cell around the building to keep it cool, but also it would stop the lava would actually go harder against the wall there, and it would divert the flow. So it's possible. And there's one from the outside looking in. So you could say there are lava tubes on moons and planets, and also we know they're in Antarctica as well as South Pole, North Pole. Excuse me. It's that dry throat because I've taken those pills again. But yeah, the lava tubes are really interesting. So me, I always keep a balanced view on these things. Have they managed to find lava tubes on the moon? Looks like they may have, and these ones might actually be legit ones from NASA. Let's have a look. Underground on the moon. Okay, and they got some mock-up images of spacemen here. Some will say it's real, it's real. NASA took those. So obviously they're looking into all this sort of stuff. Why build a lot of on the surface modules when you could actually just land a couple of them with people to near a lava hole and actually develop it into a living area? That'd make more sense. I bet Elon Musk is looking into this sort of stuff. Excuse me. All sorts of going on with my throat at the moment. Connective roads. So I got a little lunar rover there. Artistic impression. So that to me is more the sort of thing they should be promoting on YouTube channels. It's this sort of idea. Not saying it's being covered up, but it's actually being explored. I'll just post a link to that. Lava tubes in space. You can see it's not round craters though. It's definitely where have they got it on the moon though? We know they've got extinct volcanoes on Mars and other planets, but the moon, for some reason, I think the moon would have to have some ancient volcanoes on at some stage, and maybe that's where the ringing side of things come into effect. Maybe there'll be some underground lava tubes, which suggests that there's hollow sections, and then it got pounded by meteorites that sort of hit the volcano as millions of years ago, right? Yeah. What else we got? But these are ones on Earth, so Earth is always a good template of what's going to be on other planets, of course. I know there's some up in, where is it? Iceland, is it? Iceland? Frozen caps. Let's have a look. Okay, is that Iceland? Vanishes, whatever how it's called. Jules Verne science fiction. Now they've traced some of these lava tubes going up to 15 kilometers underground, I think, and they've got these big crystals, right? Bigger than men. Very much like the Jules Verne movie. Here we go. We've got some pictures here. We've looked at it before, but and of course we got these ones here also in Kentucky. Kentucky's full of limestone and has a lot of these tunnel systems as well. There's people standing in the tunnel there. Lava tubes. Iceland, there you go. And you've got walkways underneath. I suppose they haven't got much for a tourist industry up there. Why not? And I bet the Vikings used them as well. Imagine coming across Iceland and finding a lava tube. You're going to go and live in it, right? Well, ancient people are going to live in them. It's man-made shelter. And to get out the extreme temperatures, of course, under there, as you go deeper, and if you've got lava flow, and you're going to get very nice temperatures down there. So, could that be a lava tube? Sure, it could. Does it look like a lid? I think that's just optical illusion. Looks a bit blurry. More likely it's going to be like a ice lake at the rim. And this one here, it's definitely just a crater. But he's saying it's an entrance like this one here, and he's ignoring the rest of it off the image here. So we just got a shadow going into a crater. So crater and shadow. Let's see what comes up with that one. Okay, you can start to see the peaks of the rocks where it's casting shadow on that one. That's definitely better quality than we're looking at those early 1966 images that he's shown. But yeah, getting closer to what's on the image now on his video. So for it's going the other way, you got the shadow the other way. There we go. So you just change the angle. Instead of further up, we need to come down on that one. And we have the same image. There may be something similar out there, but most of the satellites pass directly over top. You got to remember the lunar reconnaissance one was looking wider afield, so it was looking more at the curvature of the moon as well as it was flying over. And they normally discarded those images because of the curvature, unless they unbent it. But obviously they were more in shadow and more grainy. But yeah, not getting anything like his now. Just a few at the top there. Well, here's one from a different angle, where we're on the other side of it, coming from this way. But anyway, we'll just carry on with it.
The famous underground base or this anomaly found in Antarctica. I mean, it looks identical, kind of like a motorcycle helmet, right?
Looks nothing like it.
But clearly looks like things, UFOs can fly in and out of this. I don't know. You look at this geography going on here. Looks like some type of ancient ruins, kind of like we find on Mars. But again, look at that, guys. So look at that image right there, and then compare it, to the
Now, all the story here is just a story. Admiral Byrd project was a load of cobblers. When you start investigating it.
This moon anomaly, and by the way, I found this moon anomaly. I was going through probably 40-50 pictures, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, oh my god, it's identical. And it reminded me, okay, of these satellite images of S4, Area 51, Bob Lazar, where he worked, S4. These.
Oh yeah, this is not S4. This is a road that we determined was near a public road for big trucks to come down. It wasn't actually Area 51 at all. This is this old footage that's recycling again. And we think these are entrances to a tunnel system for dumping maybe waste products from mining. Chemical dumps or storage dumps. You know, they put it in big drums and they store it there for so many years, and it becomes less toxic as time goes on. And it doesn't leak into the water ground system because it's in metal containers and whatever.
These openings in the side of the mountain, okay? I mean, look, here's the thing. Our government, the military, they have these subterranean bases. It's basically an underworld, okay? An underworld of these secret military projects. And guys, I'm telling you, what you're looking at right here, I'll leave the GPS coordinates below. That's Area 51, okay?
Yeah, so we just seen this image last time too, remember? And by pure chance, we had seen two meteorite impacts that made this long, similar shape on another photograph. So you have to go back yesterday and have a look at it. But you can actually see these are all impact crater sites. And you got to remember also in Area 51 they did have it as an active bombing range, right? So testing out nuclear weapons and underground explosions. Makes sense that they might have some tunnels there.
Right here, a NASA image of a moon base. Something is going on. There's some type of subterranean activity, and I can't believe that I found that image. I mean, again, on the left, right there, you have Antarctica. On the right, a 50-year-old image, from the lunar orbiter from 1966. Okay, and they look identical. And now we're going back to the moon. All right, about a month ago, I went on a tour of NASA.
Yeah, so he's going to talk about NASA there. We don't need to know about that. Okay, what else you got? Oh, this one here. Okay, let's see. God. Not quite there yet.
Okay, another image that I found while looking at the 50-year-old NASA photo gallery. You see a smoke plume coming up from the surface of the flippin' moon. Like, what in the hell?
Let's just go back there. To me, that looks like it's all the same thickness. As you know, smoke tends to vary in thickness as it goes up, and then gets wider or fades a bit. And that looks to me like maybe a hair on the slide, maybe from some lint. A lot of that sort of happened. You can see here we've got little scratches as well, and you can see here it's definitely a load of dots, which obviously they added it over the front of the camera for reference points. See, that's not stars or anything. And
surface of the flippin' moon. Like,
okay, so where this here is going, you can see here's another similar dot up here, dot there, dot there. Should be another dot here, I'd say. Why can't we see one there? I think they may be individual slides. It's not all one photo again. Definitely a dot there. I'm just trying to work out how the dots are working into squares here, because we know that they do stitch images together, and the dots may be reference points, and they haven't excluded the dots. See how it sort of lines up with these scratch marks too. So that might be, see that dot, they seem to line up. So there might not be scratch marks, there might be black lines like crosshairs. There you go. Anyway, we'll just carry on.
What in the hell is that? Now it gets better. I zoomed in. As always, there is some type of
Okay, so there's one of the dots, and he's saying this is a fire.
orb, UFO. I don't know what in the hell it is at the
And it wasn't that color, you know, it's colorized it.
bottom. I mean, this is like a moon campfire. Like, what is going on here, right? And again, these are all official NASA.
And we know this can't have campfires because there's no oxygen on the moon. Else they'd be walking around without helmets on.
Photos. Okay, there's nothing photoshopped here, nothing like that. Now,
Not a photo, a photo.
it looks like some type of orb or UFO inside the smoke plume. And as I mentioned earlier, okay, you see this weird geography going on.
There's one of those lines going up there. See, now it's been colorized. They've added the gray reds into the grays.
It looks like some type of ancient ruins, and you have this smoke plume. And the base that I showed you earlier on the moon, okay, from the lunar orbital photos, it was right by the smoke plume.
So you can see here. There's missing data all over the place. On the white blocks. This has been stitched together for many images to make one bigger, larger one. You can sort of see that with the things going across here. Now, there were some technical problems. This thing here with the missing data. What they'd do is they'd take a snapshot using normal film, and then they would scan it with another part of the equipment, the negative, and transmit it down to Earth. That's how it did it. And I think the negatives weren't, they were getting chewed up. And that looks like a roller chew up there, doesn't it? Again, I've covered that in the past. What is it? Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter 3 camera malfunctions. There's quite a few of them. If we can find the information, of course. Again. And using the correct words. NASA. No. Maybe Apollo. NASA, Apollo, I don't know. Here we go. And camera on. Oh, look at this. There's ocean on the moon. Come on. Nocturnal News, how did you manage to miss that one? Come on. That's way better. Radiator was struck by a meteoroid. Okay, so what's it saying? When the left narrow angle camera's radiator was struck by a meteoroid, first wild back and forth line records moment. So that's it, you know, as it hits and it's vibrating. What else we got? So we've got a picture of it. And the transmission error antenna, is it? Craziness, huh? Old cameras back in those days. You needed a truck to drive around a smartphone. But it says Robinson did not dodge a speeding bullet, but rather survived a speeding bullet. The effect of the event like this was captured on camera. So there you go. This is something else I didn't even know about. But I was after all the other camera artifacts. But they're out there. You just have to do some research and reading. Yeah, we'll just keep on going on this anyway. You just have to believe me.
So we have an underground alien base, okay? We have this weird, you know, plume of smoke on the moon 50 years ago that looks identical to Antarctica, identical to the...
This is meant to be a comedy channel.
Moon.
What's he listed as, you know? What's he listed himself as? Doesn't say there. He hasn't got a topic, has it? Yeah, comedy, I guess.
Base photo that I've shown multiple times on the channel. Coordinates right there. Again, everything in my video today, 100% real, 100% authentic. Debunkers, welcome. There is nothing fake in this video. Everything.
There you go. I just debunked it all for you, mate. It's garbage. Total garbage.
Thing is a satellite image from the government, military satellites, or a NASA photo or a NASA video. I mean, a side-by-side comparison right there, you know, for dramatic effect. But my God, I mean, what are we looking at here? We are looking at an underground base. Okay, now we can jump over to Venus, okay? Again, a real official NASA image, okay? It looks...
Spud Cammy! What's he going to say about it?
It's like, again, roadways. You see this, like, religious
roadways
cross in the middle.
Right.
All this weird geography, like, what is going
Hang
on?
But
here?
if you got lava tubes and underground tunnels, why would you want to be on the surface?
S4, right there, underground base, you know.
Alright, underground base at S4, but not on Venus. They drive on the roads over there.
Inside, Antarctica on the left, okay, a 50-year-old NASA photo on the right. I mean, this is
of a nice crater,
undeniable
yes.
proof. All right, so there you have it. We have an underground base on the moon, okay? We have an underground base in Antarctica. You know, there's a reason we went to the moon in the late 60s, early 70s. There's a reason we're going back to the moon for the Artemis project. There's a reason we're going to Mars. No, excuse me, back to Mars.
Yes, they use it as a staging post to try and get to further planets out, of course.
There's an ancient civilization on Mars. We all know that. To say there's not, it's laughable now.
You're laughable, mate. You sure are laughable.
There is a subterranean
You're probably worse than
world
Tyler.
that we are unaware of. I believe it's funded by our government, aliens. Who knows? I mean, probably all of the above. You know,
he should stick to his dog shelter work and talking to aliens there called dogs and cats.
Just wanted to kind of make an overall video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night.
Enjoy it if you want to laugh. Alright, so what are people saying about this? Obviously nothing like I've said. Man, you come up with some of the most credible photographs. Duh. Swear this guy has some of the best vids. It sounds like a lot of troll counts here. Hard to find good quality material. You mean Spudcam images like those? Yes, NASA's got plenty of them with scratches and hairs on them, and emulsion pill, which looks like motherships. A NASA upload is well worth a look. Maybe visiting the museum was about the only legit thing there, you know. Haven't committed on any videos a bit, so I just want to let you know I'm still here. Enjoy your videos. What, to laugh at? He's not actually saying if he's laughing at them. Thanks for that behind the scenes footage from NASA. Amazing. Truth Seeker 101. That name rings a bell. It's just a crater and a shadow to me. Yes, someone with sense, and he was on my channel last time. But keep digging. Eventually, one of us will find the smoking gun. Yeah, reminds me of S4 too. Well, have you been to S4? Is that the guy using Bob Lazar's image or something? Good stuff. Knock knock, who's there? The one and only Nocturnal News. Greetings from New Zealand. Kiwi, you should be kicking him up the bum. Kiwi should have more sense than that. Wow, those look like S4. Great job. You only got that image off Tyler a few years ago. Come on. And a smoke plume in the 60s. Bring the materials up to build the base, probably. Alien girl. You grifter. You're just going around from channel to channel, sucking up. Not get me tripping. Excellent video. I'm a new subscriber from Security. Yes, that's because he told you sheeple to go and sub to him. That's the thing. He was blabbing he was going to get 5,000 subs by the weekend, and the weekend has gone, and he never got his 5,000 subs. So was it really worth being called out by a big hoaxer channel? I don't think so. Shit, my magpie's up again, and it's now letting the browser take control going. I hate that. Why is it not adjusted it back? Let's fix that sucker. So my thing works again and doesn't resize the graphics. Okay. Any other funny comments? Can you link the source, please? You don't get source image links from these fraud channels. Come on. I still believe the Nazis are still around. Yeah, he's been watching too many sci-fi movies. But anyway, I just had to comment on that one. After last live stream, where was out in secure team stuff. It's gotten too big again. But yeah, I could go through lots of this garbage, right? You know, he's got here, this guy here should never be promoted. And the John Lenard motherships in space. I looked at that in depth on one of my live streams here. Instead of going over it again, I'll just make a reference to it in case you missed it. I do a lot of stuff. And I do repeat myself over each year because people ain't watching the old stuff. Lenard is the guy's name. If I spell it right. Lenard. Okay, this one here. John Lenard Walson, large spaceships. Now, I started looking at that without doing any prior research, right? And I tried to match it to space objects
or
that
some
you could
sort
find
of
online.
Technology.
Whereabouts did it start though? This is where the chapters come in handy. This one's got chapters on it. So it's still mucking up my scaling. So here's the chapters here. You just read down it. Tyler, what's news? Third phase. Orbs of light. Look over what others are saying about John. That'd be the one. I know it's what other people were saying about him compared to what I was doing. Where was the first bit? Here we go here. Resume looking over the images. Maybe I did one previously then. Or maybe I didn't make a bookmark for it. Anyway. May have stuffed it up. Who knows? Look, it's gone again. See, the mouse is meant to have the highest administrator rights. So it overrides the key presses and the mouse presses on the browser itself. So when you zoom in, it's not going to change the character size. And of course, sometimes it just keeps on losing it. I believe it's a Windows 10 new bug. And you can see now it's working properly. Here you go. So anyway, just have a watch of that one. Motherships. Most of them turned out to be the International Space Station as they were building it, and they put more solar cells on it. I mean, the solar panels on it, not cells, to collect more energy to charge the batteries as it got bigger and bigger. And one of them was obviously a satellite. What was the other ones? Some that looked like distant galaxies. That all of it's out of focus, of course. I'm not sure if I've got any close-up images here. If Google's going to let me play it. But he had all these crazy images. Maybe he's doing something like that, right? Which you can see is clearly the space station on another angle here, and you can see part of the solar panels going this way. So he was using a combination of his own makeshift do-it-yourself telescope, which is not a good idea. If you don't have the optics perfectly lined, as you know, you get artifacts, internal camera reflections, and light bleeding in. But you can just Google the guy up and you'll find lots of references about him and being debunked. Especially on Reddit. And motherships. Probably could type that in, it'll probably come up. Nope. John. I think it was John, wasn't it? Here's one of them. JLW Walson. Okay. So you can see that's out of focus, long exposure, something slowly moving through space, and so it all stretches all the lights. But you can see here some solar panels, the middle chunk of the space station. So this is the early development of the space station as they're sort of building it up, and that was the main commander section here. Again, this will be something similar, and of course there's more light shining on that one than there is on this one. The sun wasn't shining so much to illuminate that one. JLW Walson, let's try that in. And of course he's got a lot of these images up. Looks like that's a common name. space. No. I have to put Lenard. Here we go. So these are all the different crazy images he was put up. So I was looking at all of them, see if I can interpret it. That one there is most likely going to be a satellite. It's more boxy, you know, boxy looking. But if you watch my breakdown of it, you can see that I overlay space objects over top, including space station. See how well it lines up. But most of them are International Space Station. Without this, the solar panels vertical. Some of them are sometimes horizontal. Early stages of it being built. There's normally a lot more images that come up than this. Oh, here you go. Someone's mapped it here. Someone else has debunked his images here with what's underneath, what really is underneath. So what's that? International Space Station. International Space Station on another angle. I think they're all International Space Stations, those ones. Let's have a look. So I'm not the only one that's sort of looked at it and also seen the same thing, you see. Other people also have analysed it. How do we get rid of that? Okay. Fairly obvious, isn't it? So that would have been really early stages of International Space Station there. And there. Before it got built up, that's half of it, you know. Took them many years. Oh, here we go. International Space Station 2002, right? Which matches up with his images that he was getting. And going here. And they got some more solar panels up, I guess. In 2004, you can see how the space station is slowly being built up. And obviously different angles, gives different perspective. But like I said, mostly International Space Station. Nothing NASA's covering up at all. So it just takes a wee bit of critical thinking. How's the audio going anyway? Okay, it sounds good here, this side, so I assume it's good that side. So yeah, Nocturnal News put that one up there. It was pure garbage. And if he did some basic research, he would know not to put it up. Because it's just adding to the noise or ufology of the people that really care about it.
That there have been face-to-face meetings between United States officials and visitors from other star systems.
Too loud.
No equivocation.
So we now know that's International Space Station and a blurry mess from a bad do-it-yourself telescope.
All right, first of all, a big...
Going through atmospherics, right? It's not out in space, so that's why we're getting the shimmering as well, and you get long exposure to let more light in.
Shout out to the YouTube channel John Lenard Walson.
So he's in bed with John there, trying to promote his channel. So that explains it. This should be removed from YouTube.
Recording amazing footage. What I believe are galactic you know, starships.
He believes, people.
Hours. I don't know if it's something.
Does he go to church, this guy? Does he believe?
I don't know if it's, you know, from a distant alien planet. I have no idea, but nonetheless, they are absolutely amazing, incredible. So you guys go check out that channel. I will leave a link below. Now, what are we going to talk about today? I don't know, maybe how about the black budget military projects, or the X-37B, you know, design. Maybe some of it could be, but the fact of the matter is, you know, at least one or two of what I'm showing you today in the video, at least one or two, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, we're looking at some type of, you know, intergalactic spacecraft. Okay, now, was it made from Earth? Did it come from another planet?
Yes, it's a spacecraft, man-made.
You know, I don't know. You know, it's, I mean, who knows, right? But what I do know...
Well, someone like me, someone like the other person we just found online, there's hundreds out there who look to the skies and have some critical thinking and image analysis processing capabilities.
You know, the military, they're asking now for another, what, $302 million, you know, for, you know, these...
Yes, it's just garbage. So we know all that's International Space Station. Nothing new. That one's probably just the central hub of the space station. Just zoomed right in. We know there's a space station again, 2002. And again, it's just garbage. And all these people will suck it up here. Awesome footage. These are definitely generation ships from out there. Great video, watching his channel for a couple of years. Hey, thank you, bro. This is awesome way of finding what it is. As you say, at least one or two have to be in all odds. No, all of them can be satellites and International Space Station. I have never seen footage like this. That's because it's already been debunked 20 years ago. Well, 2000, what's that? 20 years ago. It's already been debunked. You earned a sub. I'd love to know how the powers that be are going to break the news to us of these giant motherships in space. Yes, I already have. It's called International Space Station and NASA live feed. This guy has captured some amazing footage. Now, remember this guy got featured on that guy Scam Media's documentaries. And remember, he was trying to sue the guy because he didn't pay him for using his footage. You might be able to go and dig it up and have a laugh. It's quite funny. And, you know, that's the guy that did all the colorization of the moon and said there was domes on the moon, but he was just mucking around with the images, and of course craters can look like domes depending on the angle of the you know, the shadows and stuff. That's a bit like the 3D buttons you get on the browser here. You know, either they look flat. It looks like it's high up here, you know, just by shading, by looking like it's pressed in, pressed out. You know, these buttons here. It's all optical illusions to most people. Well, I had 3 sightings in my life. Okay, we've got that bloody zoom-in effect happening again, haven't we? Yep. I'm not sure why it's taken over. Maybe I need to wrap up soon because I'm getting some technical problems. That fixes it for a wee while, but somehow it loses it again. Wow, amazing video. Plasma craft. No, just like reflecting off it. Yeah, so if people see real UFOs, right, and then they see this, they just see UFOs and everything, right? They lose their critical thinking. That's why you're meant to submit it to someone like MUFON, who will look at it with fresh eyes and apply it to all the different applications out there for you, like the sky, to find out where the International Space Station was that particular night. If you got the information, of course, a lot of information is not told to us. We ain't told what date it was, what time it was, what angle, horizon it was, location, all that sort of stuff. What great video this person captured. See, Droll Parole doesn't know crap all, does he? Trump Space Force, no. This was 2000, these images, so how could it be that? 2002. Anyway. Enough on that guy, I think. And we wrap up with some third phase stuff. Just close that tab down too. We did security the other time at the end. Third phase. Alright, so where did we start here? Obviously it's going to be a lot of recycled stuff that they've done over the years. Same with security's doing at the moment. And making like $1,000 a video, well $500 a video. From ad money if Google doesn't block it, which from what I've seen they don't. I suppose we'll start with this one and work backwards. Okay, so where are we going? I think I turned it down anyway. Forget Blake sermon to those girls here. Yeah, let's move on to the next video. Look at the smirk on his face. He looks so believable.
Take a look at this.
He's got a big grin on his face. He needs to work on that. He doesn't come across credible, but he probably doesn't care. He's laughing at all these people that are being suckered in. Yeah, so what are we looking at? So, okay, there's a UFO down here. And it's being zoomed in on the left side. So, moving like a blimp, moving like a plane. Could it be a ship on the water? Because we don't know what perspective we're looking in here. Moving too fast for a ship. I'll just zoom in a bit. That music is annoying. Yep. Damn it. Just as I had it right too. I'll just mute that. Okay. Is it CGI? First of all, before we start going down the list. And of course they're going to say it's a Tic Tac. Tic Tac, it's moving pretty damn slow for a spaceship. If that's the case. So what's happened here? It looks like it's got a tail fin that suddenly popped out. Yeah, see that? Move back. Or could it be CGI error? Okay. So we can step it from there. Not lining up very well, are they? It's over the edge here, it's off the edge here. Okay, they're panning it back now. Let's zoom in right into it. Looks like it's leaving a streak behind. That's really spud cammy, isn't it? It would be easy to do a CGI with spud cam like that. Where's the tail pop up? Yeah, here somewhere. You can't beat slow motion frame by frame. Oh, push the button. Here it is. Suddenly it popped up. Kind of looks like the space shuttle coming down to land, doesn't it? Which it could be, because the Chinese did have one, didn't they? Oh, looks like a tail happening. Now the black lines around it is compression artifact, because it compresses the color information on AVC recordings or video recordings on the phone. We can just call it MP4, which is container, but it's the incorrect way of talking about it. But people understand MP4 doesn't change the pixels, but it does have compression where it looks like changes in the motion, and it just instead of doing the whole picture here, it just compresses that part of the thing. So it uses the rest of the image as a base, and then it just redraws that movement onto the last frame without having to encode the whole lot of frames, right? So you get these weird black lines. Still looks like it's got a tail there though. I have to speed it up somehow. Looks like it's stretching. Or is it given some sort of vapor trail? Or has it gone out of focus? So is that CGI? Or is the camera having trouble picking it up? Oh, what happened there? Is that a different video? Or same one? Same one. So could it be a small plane that's releasing... it could be one of those small planes that releases smoke at the end to do skywriting. And for some reason it loses it with the background change. Looks like a plane coming in to land to me.
Videos we're going to be going over today, so I appreciate.
Okay, so this is where they needed to use the Flight Radar app at the time and show a screen of the Flight Radar app showing there's no plane there. or these guys should go back with the date and time and direction and use the apps themselves and say, look, there's no plane there, and prove to you that it wasn't a plane. But they don't do that because that's too much work. And of course, it depends how old the video is. If it's over a year old, you can't get access to the data. They won't allow you access to the data once it's a year old. For some reason, maybe because the database fills up pretty quick and they archive it, maybe.
Everybody in the live premiere chat, you guys are doing great over there. They're giving us a...
Oh, rubbish. Okay, so there wasn't much said on that one, was it?
And so it's gone.
So what the heck's going on above our skies?
I don't think it's gone. I think the camera just lost...
Watch this very closely. Let me know your thoughts in the chat.
It's going on an angle away from us, and it's got smaller and smaller, and the camera couldn't detect it any longer.
And
a small plane with smoke behind it, skywriting with smoke. Do they still do it? Especially in Philippines. That used to be the common way in doing it, right? Yeah, there's one picture here. We're doing loops and things. So that's what I imagine. Could it be like a surfer that's got a smoke canister on the... here's one here. Lit. Yeah, there's not much too much around, so you can't search it for see what in Philippines where they got skywriters. We could try it. Philippines. Banner planes or something. Bound to have, I suppose. Philippines. Oh, right. There we go. Philippine airline. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be much. It'd probably be in their own lingo too, which doesn't help. They wouldn't use English, so it makes it a bit harder to research it. Anyway, move on to the next one. South America?
Isso não é normal não, mano. Eu tô dirigindo isso. Olha lá a luz, olha lá a luz. Tá vendo?
What language is that? Palm trees. See, I don't like anything that hangs around power lines. It's easy to fake stuff with power lines, as you know, with fishing line. Does that hang on the fishing line? It's in shadow as well. It's out of focus. Look how out of focus that all is there. Why can't people take good photographs on their phones? Especially when it comes to UFO videos.
So let's get a closer look at this again. South American UFO. It's on the rise, let me tell you. This one is captured in Brazil.
Yeah, we know South Americans on the rise.
This one. We have a really nice silhouette. You can see the shape of the object. It definitely resembles, again, the Bob Lazar sports model. And what's up with these sightings in South America, Brent? This is pretty nuts that it's so frequent nowadays.
Yeah, I think this is like the 5th one we put up from the region, and it just keeps coming in. You can see as it goes behind the telephone pole lines that whatever we're seeing, this is not CGI. This is actually real. We're not seeing any deception and manipulation in the video, but what
someone pulling it along on a fishing wire on the power
Maybe,
line?
like
No,
we said
of course
earlier
not.
this past week, people might be trying to create this elaborate hoax by launching these kind of dirigibles that look similar to flying saucers, but
what we're seeing here is captured by real people on the ground, and they don't know what this is. Yeah, as we're looking at it again in closer proximity, as I zoom in,
notice how it got to the power pole. They seemed to stop it and restart it again. 300%.
It's interesting because whatever this thing is, it's not either descending or ascending into the sky. It's just...
it could be one of those UFO advertising balloons, of course. Is it going down on a vertical angle here, slowly?
It's on this even plane. What the heck is going on over there in South America?
Balloons! They love them. And they love to hoax as well.
You know, the videos, they keep rolling in, and we're going to bring
what's
them
it going
to
to
you.
do? See, as they get to the power pole, they cut. Very suspicious. Okay, carry on. What are we looking at here? So, again, it's filmed in portrait, so we've lost quality. And they're zoomed in on the right this time.
Yeah. A lot of people
Very out of focus. So there's a couple of white dots, but I can't see it here. Alright, yeah, we can just see it now. Can't get it without the zoom.
And there's two over there as well.
Yeah. Why do the dots look more focused in the background though? To me that looks like it's on a piece of glass. Some guy faking it with some glittering lights in the background in his house, filming through a damn window.
So the TR-3B, is it hiding pretty much in plain sight?
TR-3B.
The cloud?
So any 3 points of light in the sky is a TR-3B to these guys.
Flare, because I'm looking at this and you could hear it in their voices. The eyewitnesses, they have no idea what this is. Could it be a drone display? Yeah, it could be. But then again, this is the eyewitness testimony coming in from thousands of people that have seen the TR-3B, and this matches it pretty much dead ringer.
See how it goes out of focus, but the dots are not out of focus?
Movement, if these are drones, they're just remaining static.
Now it goes out of focus.
It has this triangular shape formation that is infamous throughout the world, but mostly over the United States. In my opinion, this is reverse engineered technology that's been around for, decades now, right, Brett?
So that could be just 3 planes in the sky. Could be RC models, from a plane flying club, where they fly man-sized little aircraft replicas around with LED lights on them. Could be anything, and again, there's no apps used, so it's just all waste of time watching it, because there's no proof that they haven't excluded all the man-made stuff, and then say, we've done our homework, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, this is definitely unknown. That would be a lot better quality video and a better quality UFO channel than putting up garbage like that and talking garbage about it all the time.
Take a close look at this video. Let me know what you think.
Okay, looks like a out of focus fly so far. A bug on the window. Hey. And now what we got coming up? Spud cami. Oh, still could be a bug. And we're gonna get it in focus. Is it a blowfly? A bug? Bit of dirt in the window. Oh no, it's gotta be an alien craft, guys. Oh no, it's gonna go. And it's moving around like a bug. I think I can see the wings flapping here. And you can see that minute movement there, how much this moves, tells me this is a small object close to the camera. So that to me looks like some flapping wings happening in a body of something here. Technically you could say bugs are aliens. because they are strange looking things. I still think it might be a blowfly, you know. Could that be the head of it and the legs going around and the wings? Also, it could be a fly they filmed and they've modified it in Adobe.
Again, we have these broad daylight sightings of the metallic flying disc, but this is kind of rare because the northern coast, I think it was off Big Sur. This was in the Thirdphaseofmoon archives.
So that could even be like a you know, one of those artificial bugs you use for a lure on the end of a fishing wire, and they'll just dangle it in front of the car window and filming it.
But we're looking at it again, and I just wanted to bring it up because this is interesting stuff. We're seeing it. Could it be the same model? Could it be the same?
Is it a model fly? Could it be a fishing lure on a piece of wire? Of course, is that the real shape of it there? Has it been edited?
You know, extraterrestrial behind this, or the same manufacturer from, who knows, Lockheed Skunk Works? I'm not sure. Are they testing this over the oceans? The Pacific Ocean is a perfect place to do this, especially off the coast. In certain regions, there's not a lot of people around. And to me, it makes sense. Why not test something that's so above top
2.5 hours already,
where people aren't able to see it, especially in the massive, largest body of water, the Pacific Ocean. Brent, your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a good one. I remember this. It's probably about 8-10 years old, but look at
I told you they're recycling garbage.
We're looking at. You can see the ocean waters in the background, and you can see there's a lot of gust of wind. And this thing, it's stationary, and you can see almost some metallic
stationary.
To it even,
they didn't even bother stabilizing it.
I don't know what it is. It almost looks like a tank in itself. It looks like it's one of ours, but creating this other technology that we haven't seen and what our Air Force is seeing. So is this what people saw?
Do these guys actually listen back to themselves and laughing on the floor? Or I'd just love to be a fly on the wall in their house. And tape all their discussions about how they're going to hoax something or use someone's hoax footage to make it look legit.
10 years ago, during that time?
Yeah, that's a good question, Brendan. You know, some people...
they haven't changed. Putting up that garbage. Okay, now they got a night vision color camera. Why aren't they catching their own UFOs?
To maybe do a UFO hunt. We're up there with Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal. We had our night vision psionics camera with us, state of the art. As you can see, it shoots in color at night, and we were over the Los Angeles city,
and they can't even use it properly.
Looking for UFOs.
While we're staying up really there, you know, I don't hate them. I just think they're just like comedy to me. They're just like watching a free ring circus with clowns on it. You just can't hate those type of people. This is just so funny. But what I hate is the noise they produce in ufology. So all the good stuff is lost forever. And people will just keep on being attracted to this stuff. I don't believe 99% of them people are like me that watch them and have a good laugh. I think 99% are actually looking for answers. And that's the problem with these guys. See, they could have done a ghost hunting session there. EVPs and all that sort of stuff, and actually tried to get some evidence, you know. That to me looks like a wasted trip. Just self-promotion, that's, you know. What's this one? Anything in this one? Because I've got to have to wrap up. Wrap up again. The frauds take up much of our times. That's why I tried to do more of the interesting stuff at the beginning. About displays and dimensions and all that. Okay, 3 lights in the sky. Yeah, that's just a model. See how blurred it gets. Okay, this is something new, something old again. Looks like old. Come on, get on with it. Okay, what do we got?
No se mueve. Dios mío, ¿qué es esto?
Yeah, it sounds like South America again, so we're back to the balloons, are we? Oh, I remember doing this one. See, I noticed he's filming it through a car window, is it? I think that's part of the car there. It could be a bit of shit on the window, is it? No. Should go out of focus, shouldn't it, if he zooms in? Could be one of those spiders that make webs, right? And it could be a crazy looking spider that's sort of in a web between 2 trees. Or it could even be a cocoon. But what's that here? That looks like a car. What's this here? What's that there? Is that a microphone? Is that a dish from the house? It could be a dish, could it? Don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a microphone. There's a bird that just come up. Is it outside street lamp? Is it? Is that outside street lamp? Or is it something stuck on the car window? So that all makes difference. You know, this guy needs to pan around, give us a good tour, and then go back to the image. Because that tells us clues whether he's hoaxing it or not. So what do you reckon on that one, guys? What's your thoughts on it? Could it be something in a spider web? Most logical answer. Doesn't look very windy there. Could be an advertising balloon in the distance, I guess, on a line. And why is he zooming in and out all the time like that? Normally you zoom in and keep it zoomed in a little bit before you zoom back out again. Okay, what are we looking at here? I reckon it's a bird, you know? Like, that looks like the back of a bird with the tail feather coming down. And it's sitting on a transmission wire which we can't see because it blends in with the background. What do you reckon to that one? I think I can see its feet here. I reckon it's a black bird, like a parakeet or something like that. This guy must know what this is. Birds on power lines. You don't often see the power lines. Bird power line, I suppose. Try that. Images. So we're looking at something like one of these here. See, it's got the same sort of shape happening. Pigeons, but they're facing the wrong way here. There we go. So for we can see the line here. Now let's just grab, is that the best we're going to get here? Let's do a compare image over top. This is how you do it. Okay. It hasn't saved the image yet. And I haven't got the folder over, have I? Duh! I didn't drag the image over. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Looks more like a bird now, doesn't it? I wonder if we can enhance it. Could it be a raven? A raven? South America? Photo. Sharpener. Starting to look more bird-like as we sharpen it. See that? That looks like a crow, doesn't it? You see the feathers coming out now? If you sharpen it too much though, we get a lot of artifacts. Can we see the power line it's sitting on? Okay, so to me it looks like a bird. You got the back of it going that way. And you got the tail feathers coming down here. Seems to form that kind of shape there. And then you got coming up there. Looks like the feet are here, so it's got to be a line going that way, power line. And you can even see the beak here, sort of popping up a wee bit here. I haven't done it really well, but there is a bit of a beak popping out there. And you can see the head and the breast. You can go from blurriness to sharp. Blurfo to much clearer. And you can see there's a different shading of blacks here too, so you could run that through color curves and brightness. There you go, it looks more like a bird now. You can see the beak now. Could have a wee bit of white feathers on the back here. So, Black Cousins 8 years ago, couldn't work that out, eh? Alright, we didn't actually do colour swap. We'll do a colour swap on it, so we just mucked around with the brightness. Colour swap. Definitely looks like a bird of some kind. All we can do is get different shades of black there. But we can't see the power line. It definitely looks like there might be something running along here though. So we didn't see all these lines in the picture, did we? So does that mean there could be a piece of glass there? That it's sitting on a top of a glass greenhouse running across here. And we're seeing various artifacts in the glass. So it might not be a power line. Okay. I think these people understand what I do here now and able to explain these things. You can see here definitely there is a darkness in the sky. Let's see, we'll just keep on playing it. So now we know it's a bird. He's zooming in, changing angles on it all the time. There's another bird that's flying, but that looked like it flew over top of it rather than past it. So if that's a street lamp, then obviously there's going to be power lines as well. That's a bird. You scamming South American. I think it's just repeating back and forth like that. Probably it flew away after that. And okay, we'll just chop that bit off and send it into third phase to promote it. So let's see. Tyler did one of these, by the way. He's got one with a pigeon that looks like a little orb above a power line. But when you enhance it, you can see the legs of a pigeon coming down, touching on the power line. I don't know if he's still got that one up or he's deleted it or not, but it's embarrassing. It was like this one here, like he had it out of focus, so you couldn't see the legs in between. You could tell it was a pigeon on a power line. Here we go. That looks very similar, doesn't it? For they're facing us rather than away. And we can see the power line. So we need one where you can't see the power line. Someone's bound to have one out there. Because these are done obviously with professional cameras, right? Not smartphones. Look at all the birds lined up on that one. I gotta get going though. Oh, 5:30. I just wanted the perfect image to round this off. There we go. Was that one? No. That's a bit of grit on my screen. I need to wash my screen. Okay, you obviously can't see what I'm seeing. So these ones are getting closer to what we're doing. But this time it's not birds. These are special robots, maintenance things that go along the wire and check the wire. But we want something that distance away from the camera. And of course you need the right light, of course. The right light will fade the wire away into nothing. So we saw these little wires underneath as well, so that sort of makes sense. Like you'd see a lot of wires going across here, and there's a wire going across here, right? It's definitely on a wire. I will, very similar to this one here, that picture there. It's bound to be one here where you can't see the wire. Come on. White wires. See, that's getting closer. That's got the bird facing us though. You'd think I would have found something by now. That one there. The wires are too thick. So it'll probably be possibly on a telephone wire, which are really thin. Anyway, gotta give up soon. Oh, here we go. Those ones are getting closer to it. See what I mean? Now we can't see the wires so good. So that's the one we want to grab. It's the best one we've got so far. Save image. And we'll just use that and wrap up on that one, I think, for today. Images, JPEG. Okay, let's open it up in here. And you can see now we can zoom in on it. We can actually see the wire better, unfortunately. But if you had the right light in that day, that kind of wire would blend in with the background, right? And I think they're all facing this way again, unfortunately. That one might be... that one's facing us. Must be the same type of bird. What are they? Starling? Crow? That one there is very similar. This one here. But it's facing us, so unfortunately. That one there. Copy. Paste. Scale it up proportional. You can see how far away it is in that photograph. That must be quite a few megapixels. See how much I'd scale it up compared to that smartphone one. And then we can erase the outside. Like that. And we can see the picture behind. And we can also get rid of the cable. But it'll give us an idea. Deselect. There we go. So I'd have to zoom out. Bend it slightly. And sort of almost a perfect match. Alright, add in some atmospheric blur. Could scale it up a wee bit more. And bingo. And we can see there is some sort of wire there. We can see it sort of in the filters there, there's something going on. So it's a blackbird. Now you can just do this as well. Oh, unfortunately, it moved it up as I did it. Come back here. And we can fade it in and out. There you go. And that's how I do things around here. Pattern match. There's a blackbird, blackbird. Solved, solved, solved. And on that note, I'm probably going to have to wrap up, guys. More UFO vids than I can shake a stick at today. And if you want to copy what I do on your own live show and follow the same sort of methods I do, go ahead. I do this to teach people to be more critical thinking and actually use the tools in the same way I do. So yeah, makes sense that this is going to be some sort of power pole here, and we got some phone wires which are very fine going across this way between houses or whatever, power poles. What else they got? So what garbage did they talk about on that one?
But again, if it's on a web, it's rather steady. Am I sighting of jetpack man just recently too over?
So you saw the feathers pop out a wee bit there where it sort of fluffed out.
For LA, and we might do a little investigation while we're in town here. What in the world's going on in the skies? Good question there, Brent. What the heck?
Birds and balloons so far.
Is going on? And I'm looking at this a little closer too. We're getting some kind of perspective with the telephone line and the pole there itself. I'm not
telephone line.
sure if it could be something maybe stuck up on a web, but again, if it's on a web,
no, we thought of the web at the start, and then once we zoomed in, we could see it was a bird.
Rather steady.
So these guys sound like they know what it is as well, and they're just misleading people, but they're doing it in such a way that they have an opt-out. Like they said, oh, we didn't say it was a UFO, we didn't say it was a thing, we said it could possibly be these other things, we'll let you make up your own mind.
Opinion, this is higher up in the sky, and I'm estimating this thing to be approximately 15 to 20 feet in length. So whatever's going on.
See, again, they started off good, in the right path, and then now they've gone into this fantasy world of saying it's 15 feet big and high up in the sky.
Seems to have the eyewitness concerned, and everybody should be kind of demanding.
There's a South American hoaxer.
This information, this technology that's been hidden from us for over 74 years. Yeah, we're looking at this again. Why has there not been any new UFO sightings coming from Congress or the other players in the field that said they're going to be dropping videos in the next...
So you got to remember, they're talking over this video now, where they're meant to have changed their ways, improved their ways to not bring you CGI and fakes. Well, to me, this what they just talked about here is deceiving people. They started off good, and then they went into the wild fantasy, and then they're saying, blaming the government for not bringing them this bird UFO
coming
on
weeks, and we haven't seen
telephone
nothing.
wire.
And it seems like we're just beating a dead horse here, trying to demand information from the Congress and these other players that are trying to drop information.
Yeah, they're just talking garbage now. Okay, what we got now? I ain't got time though. I've got to get going. Okay, it's an overexposed moon. And possibly formation of planes, skydivers, drones. This could even be CGI, this low quality, you know, just cookie cutter effect. That to me looks like that's some sort of practice skydiving where they're trying to line up to form pattern in the sky.
Incredible video captured of what looks to be some kind of massive fleet forming some kind of V shape.
A fleet of skydivers
in close proximity to the moon. What's going on?
Okay, so that one drop there look like a
on here?
flare.
Some kind of fleet, a space force.
No, they're just lighting up the flares as they get to a certain
for
level.
the public to see. This person got really lucky capturing this. We're hoping we get to see more of these kind of light.
These are para. You can see the para.
What we're looking at,
skydivers, and they're trying to synchronize up to form a shape.
Remaining a mystery at the moment. We're reaching out to anybody, especially within the military. If you're an insider and you want to come forward with some evidence, anonymous or not, we will share the video evidence as fast as possible. Brent, what's your thoughts here? Space Force or something otherworldly? Yeah, maybe both. That's the big question. Here. We're looking at this, and I'm still.
You got to remember, this is new dialogue for these old videos.
The atmosphere or up in space. If this was up in space, these objects, this would mean that it would be massive, maybe the size of the International Space Station. Each and one of these individual lights, it would be massive. Now, then again, I'm thinking, could this just be maybe parachuters with flares dropping in the sky and creating this
they know what it
look
is.
that it's something otherworldly? I don't really see any pyrotechnics.
I can see the
coming
big
off of
grins
it,
in their
or
faces.
to
You know, we
create
can't
this
see them talking this
perfect
crap.
triangle vector shape would be pretty hard to do if you're a parachuter.
And if this was done years ago, I bet they could look up events and know that it was a skydivers event for a football stadium or something, you know, or a practice dive. They'll be on their Facebook posts or whatever. And these guys often document their skydiving things. So again, it depends on the location that is. We don't know what it was. What else we got? I got to get going though. Another fine run. Okay, we got a lamppost. Okay, that looks like that it's wobbling in the sky there, like it's one of those advertising balloons. And I can't remember this one. This was South America, and GUFON had it up saying it was in a foreign country, saying it's a real UFO. And it turns out it was a advertising balloon that got away from its TEFA in what was the South American country now? You can see how it's rocking back and forth. It's one of these ones. We have covered it before. UFO advertising balloon. They're quite big. They're like 5 or 6 men big advertising, and they got a bit of weight to them. I should say balloon. And you can buy all various shapes now. This one here, you can see how big it is. So that's what you're seeing here in this video. Right. Plus they got ones with different underneaths, slightly different tops, different colours now. So where would you put that over your building? Well, to attract people to your business, I guess. But you could also put some, you could have like a banner that comes down off it, you know, a flappy banner with the name of specials or whatever. And of course South America, you know, they love the UFOs, right? Makes sense to have a UFO advertising balloon. Anyway, do your own research. This is real-time debunking, as I call it. Hasn't been prepared. I'll just go on the fly. And you can see what I do with the editor and stuff. I just don't guess. I try to prove it best I can. Anyway, looks like that's the end of it. And I think we've got up to date. I think last time we did that one there, which I figured it would have to be like 3 different artifacts to produce it. But it's no mystery that's going to be man-made. So I'm just going to wind up there and say goodnight, and I'll see you again sometime in the next few days, hopefully. And thanks for the 4 watching, 4 likes. And if you like what I do, maybe send $5 my way, because I need to get the Subscribe Star to release the hundreds of dollars there, so I can actually pay for another year of hosting and BitChute memberships. So if you can help me out there, that would be really great. Apart from that, I'll keep on doing what I can out of my own pocket for the time being. but I'm on sickness benefits, so I don't get really much money each week to live on. So catch you later, guys, and stay safe on the roads.